Hello, and welcome back to Street Smart Travel. Got a bit of a different update today. I'm going to be checking in about something that is not at all related to travel. And we're in a bit of a different spot, so hopefully the wind isn't an issue. We also, today, here on the farm, welcomed a contingent of 40 Boy and Girl Scouts for a couple days to camp up here over the weekend. So I am up at the garden, and hopefully we don't have to deal with too much ambient noise. I think they're from like 8 to 19 years old or something, so it's a ball of energy down there by the house. Hopefully up here in the garden, it's going to be a little bit more serene. So today, not going to be talking about travel, but I do want to talk about discipline. No one's favorite topic, but discipline in the context of a daily practice that I've had, and today is day 3,654 of the 41-day challenge. What, I'm sure you're asking yourself, is the 41-day challenge? Well, I'm glad you asked. The 41-day challenge was a challenge that was issued to us in a yoga teacher training class back on November 1st, 2014, and today is November 1st, 2024. So 10 years in. This is the first day of year 11 of me doing yoga and meditation every single day. That wasn't the 41-day challenge. The 41-day challenge was issued to us by the teacher, a friend of mine, for the yoga teacher training class. And the challenge was basically this. He had determined through some research that 41 days was the length of time it took to establish a habit. I've seen different numbers assigned to that. I don't know which one's correct. 41 seemed as good as any. And the challenge was to do 5 active yoga practices a week and 2 sittings, 2 meditations a week. So basically, every day of the week you would be doing either yoga or meditation. Now, I started doing yoga back in the summer of 1995, back when it was just, hippies and freaks, before it became hugely popular. And I had started, when I learned how to do yoga, I took some classes to basically memorize, okay, what's a yoga practice I can do in my home. And I was doing it 7 days a week, right, for months and years, I think. And then that tapered off to 6 days a week so I could have a day to recover, and then 5 days, 4 days sometimes. So when we got into the teacher training course and that challenge was issued, I went, this is perfect. This will get me back on track. And instead of doing either or yoga or meditation every day, I doubled down and said I'm going to do both. And I did. And here we are, this is day 1 of year 11. And that 10 years went by pretty quick, right? And had I, at the beginning, like day 1 of the 41-day challenge, said, 41 days, that's a long time, let alone, 10 years of daily anything, that's a long time. But I decided to step up and say, yeah, I'm going to challenge myself and see if I can do this. And at this point, it's not something I do, it's something that I am. Like, it's become a part of my daily routine. And it's evolved over time. I've done it when I had injuries, when I was sick, when I wasn't feeling great. Like, I always made it possible to find a way to do a yoga practice and a sitting every day. And like I said, it evolved over time. So initially, it was do yoga in the evening, usually about 45 minutes to an hour, do a sitting right before bed. And that took a bit of planning. I would have to eat dinner around 5 o'clock and then wait 2.5, 3 hours until I was able to do yoga. You could try to do yoga on a full stomach. Let me know how that works out for you, because it doesn't work for me. 2.5, 3 hours later, I'm good. And then a sitting after that, the two, in that order, those 2 activities flow together really, really well for me. Point being, it evolved over time to the point where I decided to challenge my firmly held belief that my body was incapable of doing yoga in the morning. And that wasn't entirely true. It just certainly was much easier for me to do it in the evening. I don't like mornings. I never have. But again, at some point I prioritized it and said I will do a 15-minute yoga practice and a 15-minute meditation every morning, which meant getting up at least half an hour earlier than I needed to and knocking those two things out. And that it took a while to get into that routine, but I persisted, and now it's the first thing I do when I get out of bed. The mat is right there. I just get on it, do 15 minutes, do a sitting. I've worked a couple other practices into that routine, so it's about 45 minutes altogether. And by the time I'm done that, I'm ready to face the day. I feel like I've already accomplished something important, certainly important to me, and something that got my body moving and put me in a good mindset to take on the day regardless of where I am and what I need to do. So it's made a huge difference and continues to pay huge dividends over the years. And by the time you get 10 years into doing anything every day, it's way more painful to stop doing that thing than it is to just continue the streak. The momentum's already in place, just continue doing the same thing. And I'll probably modify it somehow over time. And over that 10-year period, I also discovered the miracle morning, so I worked in aspects of that into the practice. And I discovered David Goggins. And I thought, hey, I'm actually pretty disciplined. I do this stuff every day, and I'm happy with being able to give myself a command, I guess, or give myself a task and complete it every day. And then I read Can't Hurt Me, and I went, yeah, this guy's next level, right? His thing is running, ultra marathons, and just other insane physical feats. Like this guy's superhuman. But when I read that, and then I read Never Finished, and went, okay, yeah, I'm here. I'm pretty good, and he's he's not even on the chart anymore. This dude's his own thing. So rather than being depressed by it or crushed and like I'm never going to be David Goggins, and that's totally true, I never will be, I took elements from his life and his story and went, yeah, I could implement that into my life, or I could step up my practice, or I could challenge myself in a different way. But the foundational practice every morning, 15 minutes yoga, 15 minutes meditation, and then another yoga and meditation session in the evening, has served me very, very well. And that discipline and consistency and commitment has really spilled over into other areas of life. It gives me, aside from the sense of well-being, physical and mental well-being, it's just a mindset that I know that if I want to do something badly enough, I can make myself do it. Might not be easy, I might not like part of the process, but if I'm committed to the outcome, I'm going to figure out a way to make it work. Now, yoga and meditation or running may not be your thing. I'm not telling you you have to do any of those things. I am saying that if you make the time every single day to do something that you really enjoy, and it could be 10 or 15 minutes to start, carve out that time. Figure out what it is you really enjoy doing. Maybe you like reading and you never make time for it. Maybe you want to spend quality time with somebody in your life. Maybe you want to write a book. You're like, oh, it's such a daunting task, I can never do it. If you put in 15 minutes a day to start and build a habit, that would soon turn into half an hour or an hour, and you could knock out a book sooner than you think you could knock out a book. So none of this stuff is easy, but I will tell you, it is transformational. And you will literally astound yourself over the course of time with consistent daily actions and commitments to things that you enjoy doing. And just pick one thing. Don't have to do all kinds of things, just pick one. At different points in my life, it was music. I'm first and foremost a professional musician, and I would practice for hours a day. And if I didn't, I felt physically off and mentally off. And then that turned into yoga and meditation. And I still practice, like obviously living on the road and traveling around. I'm a drummer, so I'm not going to be traveling with a drum set. That's insane. But I do have a practice pad and some sticks, and I'd like to say every day, but that's not true. Usually every other day, I'm on the pad, just working on the muscle memory, getting the chops back up, and I'm looking forward to a time when I'm in a place that there is an opportunity to have a musical outlet. Ideally play drum set again. It's been a little while. Not really that worried about it. I'll make it a priority when I feel I need to make it a priority. But again, make time every day to do something you really enjoy doing, and carve out the same. For me, it's every morning and every evening. So just pick a time and a place and a thing and knock it out for 10 or 15 minutes every day, regardless of how you feel. The discipline that builds just in that practice alone will be astounding. And that spills over to other areas of your life. So I have a lot more to say about discipline, and please drop a comment if you can identify with any of this, if maybe you're afraid of discipline, or, oh, I couldn't do it because it's too daunting. And again, if I would have said, hey, every day for the next 10 years, I'm going to do these things, I would have folded, right? I would have folded on day 2. Like, this is way too much. But if you pick a thing and just say, every day I'm going to commit to doing this. And if you miss a day, don't miss 2 days. Miss a day, get back on, and keep moving forward. And another great resource for discipline and habits, I guess specifically, James Clear's Atomic Habits. Absolutely. I've read and reread that multiple times, and every time I do, it's like, yep, got to start doing that, or yep, I could really up my game on that. So again, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about discipline, how it plays out in your own life. Are you disciplined? Do you wish you were more disciplined? Do you envy people who are disciplined? Anybody can do it. I'm not going to say it's easy, but it is simple. And the dividends it pays are well worth it. So with that, I will say, peace out. See you out on the road. Discipline is freedom.